The following featured presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 499 of Skywalking Through Neverland. Forp!
So nothing on this page makes sense other than the fact that 3PO wasn't the only one on mushrooms.
Oh. You can't help saying it. Evil. I adore the Yoo-hoo. I adore it.
See, now I want a Yoo-hoo drink.
Yoo-hoo! So, oh my gosh, is that a railing?
Okay, yes. What do you say we go someplace and get real tired real fast?
Wow.
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland!
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets loud.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never Land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! In this episode, we will see Luke Skywalker face off with an all-terrain scout transport, Leia and 3PO outrun Gundarks, and an inside plot to kill Darth Vader. By the sounds of this could only mean there's a classic Marvel Star Wars comics coming your way. But before we get into that, I want to welcome you all to
Whoops.
We want to welcome you all to Skywalking Through Neverland and a classic Marvel Star Wars comics. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, the Gourmanda of Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait. It took me a second to get that.
It took me a second to think of that.
Yeah,
Meaning?
yesterday. Yeah, so meaning right now, fires are ravaging Los Angeles. Pacific Palisades is like a town is 75% gone. Altadena it's like unimaginable. And so we wanted to do anything we could to help out. And there's several places that are taking donations or needing volunteers and things like that. And so we went on Saturday to go volunteer, and they were full up on volunteers on site in Azusa. But what they needed were people had donated like food that needed to be cooked, basically. And so we took back home pounds and pounds of dry beans and rice, and we made it into a beans and rice, dish for people to eat and enjoy, hopefully. And these 2 giant pallets of beans and rice, and we took them back this morning, and hopefully they have been enjoyed today.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Oh, the kitchen, if there's a silver lining, the kitchen smelled really nice this morning.
Yeah, I know. I was cooking for 6 hours yesterday?
Yeah.
Something ridiculous. And then we also went to Sam's Club and stocked up on hygiene items and products and went through some clothes that we had and just went and donated. Our next door neighbor was making a run to the donation place near us, like one of the high schools.
Yeah, and the great thing is to see other Los Angelinos all just banding together.
We were at Sam's Club, and we noticed several other people had similar things in their carts, and they were like, "Are you donating?" "Yeah, we're donating."
Yeah.
We were all gathering.
And where are
stuff.
you going? And where are you going? Okay, we don't want to go where you're going because you got a big giant cart full of stuff, so we'll go somewhere else. And we got lots of pet supplies.
Yeah. Pet supplies, hygiene items, and bottled water.
Yeah.
Because the water system up there is not potable.
One of the two.
Yeah.
So Los Angeles, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be years.
Years before people can rebuild. Whole communities are gone. I was thinking of that. I was like, the amount of destruction is like the from where I lived to where my high school was to where my elementary school was, it would be like all of that just disappeared overnight.
Yeah, and this is a place where we did a lot of business over Pacific Palisades.
Yes, so we know it well.
Yeah, and just to see the decimation.
Yeah.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, but I'm glad once again everyone in Los Angeles, they're all banding together. This place we went to yesterday in Azusa, which is a little bit north of Long Beach, how many volunteers do you think there were? Like 100 at one given time. Everyone just delivering food,
or
people
sorting
making
items.
food, sorting items, donating items. Got to the point where there were signs like, we want to take more donations, but we can't right now. We're full.
Yeah, because there was no place to store it. And so what they needed then was also drivers to take the donations and food to various places that needed it.
Yeah.
So, your help is still useful.
And more to come, especially with the humane societies, because these animals they really need help. And so far, $180,000 has been raised for the Pasadena Humane Society. Good. Keep it going there.
Yeah.
Because those, these pictures of the hurt animals.
I know. Oh, yeah, they have burns on them.
Yeah.
So any donations, like if you're not in the area, you can't volunteer. Any donations are appreciated, I'm sure. And both Richard and I have posted on our Facebook pages different ways that you can help or donate. So please head there, and we'll put some in the show notes as well. Some places that you can, if you want to help. You know.
I'm sure the Skywalkers do.
Yeah. Like if everyone gave like $10, you know, like that's a huge help.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there's Corwin of Amber.
Oh, perfect.
Who says, saw a call for volunteers to come in and help take care of horses and the like.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. That's good.
Yeah, good to know. I'm glad a lot of these Facebook pages are constantly being updated.
Yeah, that too.
All right.
Well, that's what's going on in our world.
So I'm gonna call you the two-armed Gormanda.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds very good.
But with better hair.
Thank you. All right. Well, Skywalkers, we are your enthusiastic destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So it's time for your much needed Wookiee hug for the week. And your little sprinkle of pixie dust for our very special family of Skywalkers. Now, we are live on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel right now. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and then click the bell for notifications for when we do go live. And we would love that. Richard, subscribers, we really wanted to get to that 9,200 mark, right? Right before the turn of the new year. So where are we?
We are at 9217 YouTube subscribers.
Whoa, we blew past that mark.
We blew way past that. And I gotta say, we cut up our short film TPZ and made it into a little YouTube shorts.
Oh.
And that's been really helping.
Wow. Yeah, shorts really help.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, a lot of subscribers came from those YouTube shorts. And also on Instagram, we've put up these shorts as well.
Wow. That's awesome. Yes, so our new goal is to get 10,000 subscribers by San Diego Comic-Con in July. We can do it.
We're so gonna do it. We're so dedicated to passing by this 10,000 mark.
Yes. All right, and we've also climbed on Instagram, so we now have over 4,400. We have 4,426. Yay, subscribers there.
And I think we can get to 5,000.
I think so.
Comic-Con in July.
I think so. Of course, we can post some reels on Instagram too. That seems to do well. People love short form video. That's what we're finding. Yeah, you are like addicted to TikTok.
I am.
And reels.
Right now everyone's posting a lot of fire updates.
Yeah.
So I'm really just glued to that. And some other things that are just kind of fun. Animal videos.
Yes.
Oh, they get me every time.
Oh, the little bunnies.
The bunnies.
There's cat ones that jump over like walls that people like make.
And Christmas trees.
Yeah.
How many times can I watch a kitty run into a Christmas tree? I don't think there is enough. that I can watch.
And you know what? Right now, people are doing lots of Wicked parodies, and that's what's keeping me like in good spirits right now. Like, what is this feeling? And they like do something on cat litter or something. I don't know what it is, but
and those little bunnies just chewing on a piece of lettuce for about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I can watch that over and over again.
Like a buzzsaw they take in. Yeah, they're so cute. Okay, well, in this classic Marvel Star Wars comics episode, we are breaking down issue number 51, Resurrection of Evil. There is a new super weapon being constructed called the Tarkin. Our heroes are sent to bring down this technological terror, and at the same time, there is a plot within the Empire to kill Darth Vader. Spoiler!
So exciting. So much going on in this issue.
Yeah.
All right, now we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world, a Disney cruise, or a trip to a Universal Studios park. And best of all, this service is free of charge. So go on over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you, or you could just say FORP.
But also tell them that Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Yes. The FORP is just a thing if you want to go there.
Add it to the recommendations.
Yeah, it's not a requirement. It's just a suggestion.
Well, we are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on January 12th, 2025. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
Well, this event only happened 3 years ago on this date, January 12th, 2022. Disney Plus streams the episode Chapter 3, The Streets of Mos Espa from the Book of Boba Fett. And this is the episode that guest starred Danny Trejo as the Rancor Keeper. Mm-hmm. Why am I bringing that up? Is there a connection to the classic Marvel Star Wars comics in this issue, Resurrection of Evil?
Is there?
Possibly? I don't know, but it's always fun to see a Rancor in Star Wars, whether it be Moochie, whether it be a Rancor that Grogu can snuggle up to. Mm-hmm. Always great. This was a great episode because here the twin Hutts.
Yes.
They bring the Rancor to Boba Fett as an apology. Hey, sorry we tried to kill you. You know that black chrysanthemum Wookiee? We're so sorry about him. We are so sorry. But plus, this episode also features the best behind-the-scenes Easter egg ever. Do you recall this?
Well, behind the scenes?
A behind-the-scenes Easter egg.
Okay, let us know.
All right. During the speeder chase where the mods were pursuing the Major Domo, one of the mods crashes right through a Ralph McQuarrie painting from Return of the Jedi. This is the painting of Jabba's court. So
my goodness.
You know those in every 70s comedy when there's a chase, there's always two guys walking with a big giant mirror or a big
mural
pane of glass, and someone just goes right through it. Well, they play homage to that gag.
Even in Parent Trap, the body swap movie.
Oh, Freaky Friday?
Freaky Friday, that happens too in that big chase.
Yeah. But here, instead of a pane of glass or a mirror, they go right through this Return of the Jedi Ralph McQuarrie painting of Jabba's court. Now, this also plays into a great behind-the-scenes Easter egg in this classic Marvel Star Wars comic issue. Speaking of which, let's get into this issue, number 51, Resurrection of Evil.
I like how you said evil.
Evil.
Skywalking through classic Marvel. Skywalking through classic Marvel comics.
Our Skywalking subseries Classic Marvel Star Wars Comics is back, and this issue kicks off the power team of Walt Simonson, David Michelinie, and Tom Palmer As a reminder, Walt Simonson is the co-creator of Valance the Hunter and Jackson.
Nice. Thanks. Good reminder.
Yes, so some great stuff is coming your way, and from here, stories are gonna get tighter. The artwork is gonna soar to new levels. The characters are gonna look like the characters. Now, as we read through this very first Star Wars comic series, which spanned from 1977 through 1986, I will share memories of reading these vintage comics as a kid, or really for the first 80 issues, I looked at the great artwork. But you know what? That told the story.
It did.
So I was really caught up in a way, but missed those little details. So I'm glad we're doing this. We're doing this now.
Absolutely.
And we make several connections and parallels of these comics to films, TV shows, novels, video games. Looking at you, Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, with your Captain Jack, Crimson Jack reference. Oh my God, that blew our minds. Now, I am reading these comics for the very first time and sharing my 21st century response as well as my artistic thoughts. So I love when artists change. You can really tell the differences and details and styles of the various artists.
Now, Walt Simonson started back in issue 16.
Yeah.
It's coming back now.
Okay.
But I think his artwork has really improved.
Well, yeah, it's several years later. And so I can see how an artist would improve after drawing comic after comic after comic. And he didn't just work at Star Wars comics. He worked on all different
He worked on everything.
Yeah.
And then looking at reference photos going, is this what Princess Leia looks like?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I know.
But they were working so fast. So.
That's the thing. They have to churn these out.
Yeah, but it's always fun to go through them and just look at the progression and just their interpretations.
Now, as a reminder, the last classic Marvel Star Wars comics issue that we did not lead up to this issue. So there's no backstory to summarize. This is a brand new, fresh story. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Issue 51, Resurrection of Evil.
No, say it like evil.
Resurrection of Evil.
That worked.
Thank you. I'm glad I have your approval.
Yes, you do. Stamp.
General Rieekan receives word from rebel spies that the Galactic Empire is constructing a new superweapon known as the Tarkin. Realizing the danger the new weapon poses, Rieekan sends for Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, Chewbacca, Lando Calrissian, and the droids. The rebel heroes are sent to infiltrate the Tarkin. However, Darth Vader observes as they arrive and sets events in motion to capture his long sought-after adversary, Luke Skywalker. But little does the Dark Lord know that some of his own men are secretly plotting against him due to his vicious punishments imposed against their fellow Imperial officers. Remember, however high up you get, the higher up you get as an Imperial officer, the more likely you are to be choked out by Darth Vader.
Yeah, you would think these Imperial officers would know that. Now, General Rieekan receives a word about the Tarkin from these rebel spies. Guess who was not included in that? Me.
Oh.
Yeah. Rieekan said, all right, you rebel spies. Rich, what are you doing in here? You're not a rebel spy. Get out of here.
No, you're not the rebel spy. I'm sorry.
All right, now this issue came out June the 16th, 1981. And it was written by David Michelinie, artwork by Walt Simonson and Tom Palmer, and the cover art is by Walt Simonson.
Wow, I was 3 months old when this issue came out. Okay, so let's go over the cover art.
All right, here we see a Scout Walker, or an AT-ST. It's stomping toward Luke Skywalker, who is pinned down, but doesn't give up and blasts the walker, but it ricochets off its great, powerful legs.
All right, Skywalkers in the Sky Chat, please share your comments of this cover in the comments right there.
Julie's coming in with an evil.
Yes. Evil.
I love the Sky Chat.
It's so hard. Okay, so Richard, what is your response to this cover? And do you remember as a kid?
I sure do.
Oh, okay.
Now, first, I suspected that this was another Kenner toy tie-in because we've seen them do that in the past, and I thought they were tying this Scout Walker into the Kenner Scout Walker, but that didn't come in until 1982. The toy. It wasn't released for another year.
Okay.
So now I'm guessing that they wanted to feature this cool two-legged walker seen in The Empire Strikes Back for like a second and a half.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't see it really until Return of the Jedi. The Scout Walkers.
Right.
Okay.
Now the model makers made this little model and said, yeah, let's just throw it in here, see what happens. So this is something that a lot of people, even George Lucas, is like, hey, what is that?
It's an odd angle,
it made a huge impact, and I'm sure Marvel said, well, if you guys aren't going to use this, we're going to use this. And Lucasfilm, who had a very tight rein on Marvel, they didn't pull back and say, no, you can't use this Imperial machine because we're going to use it in the future. This is still another year before they get into pre-production and model making.
Okay.
So Marvel just wanted to use it, and Lucasfilm said, yeah, go right ahead.
Wow.
Now, I was excited to see the Scout Walker on the cover, especially in a showdown with Luke Skywalker. So here you have Luke versus this Imperial machine. And as a kid, I loved this color scheme, and this really drew me in, where you have the purple sky, you have to get the blue background mountains, and the purple foreground. That purple, blue, purple layering really, really called out to me as a kid, and the orange Star Wars logo. It all just worked together. This is a brilliant cover. How about you? What is your reaction to this?
So definitely the colors are what popped to me at the very beginning when I first see this. And yeah, that Star Wars logo in bright orange along with the big blast. You know, Luke is like shooting the walker and it's ricocheting off the leg, and there's this giant blast like right in the middle of the comic book page that is orange and yellow. So that right there is a big focal point. Now, when I first looked at it, though, I'm like, wow, this is a really odd angle for the Scout Walker. And now you talking about how the Scout Walker was only seen for a second of footage at this point in time in The Empire Strikes Back. It's like, how do people know what this actually looks like? I guess they can open up the comic and see, you know, at a side angle. But from this angle, you can't really tell what you're looking at.
I see. Yeah, that's a good point.
And also half of the Scout Walker on the top, which is the part that's, you know, you see that's the main body of it.
The cockpit of it.
The cockpit is covered by the Star Wars logo. So it's like, what am I looking at? Is this a mechanical machine? So at this point, I'm like, I knew what it was just because I've seen Scout Walkers in Return of the Jedi. But like at this point in time, people had not seen Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but I'm guessing that seeing the two big mechanical legs, they associate it with an AT-AT, and a lot of the kids were thinking, wait a minute, okay, we saw this in The Empire Strikes Back, so it was a progression of thought.
Yeah.
For most kids. For me, it's like, oh, that's a Scout Walker.
Okay. I mean, I can see that, and I understand that. But yes, the colors are gorgeous, and I also want to say that this episode called Resurrection of Evil, you can't help saying it, evil. Evil. It reminds me of a Star Trek Next Generation episode called Skin of Evil. And this is in the first season of the series, and it's where an away team encounter an evil being that basically is this black blob in a swamp named Armis, and he kills their security officer, Tasha Yar. Oh, spoilers. But yeah, so Resurrection of Evil, Skin of Evil, just that whole, it just kind of resonated with me.
Okay. Julie in the Sky Chat is saying, I really love the color scheme with the purple and teal background, the yellow and orange pop against it.
Absolutely. They're opposites on the color spectrum, on the color wheel. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Corwin of Amber is saying in the Sky Chat where we lose the
Tasha Yar.
Tasha Yar.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So everyone knows about it, so not a spoiler.
It shouldn't be. I mean, what? That's 40 years old? 80s? Yeah. Let's see. Also saying Corwin of Amber, I am not certain that both legs have exactly the same articulation. Oh, yeah. One is like going back like a dog's leg.
And one looks like a cricket leg.
Forward. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this thing would stand up straight, if it even could.
Yeah. And Luke is very small, but the fact that he's in his orange flight suit, you can really pick him out among those purple rocks. So, looks good.
All right, now, like always, we put this cover art up on the Skywalking Through Neverland Facebook page and group and ask all the Skywalkers to please comment and let us know what you think of this issue cover. Rex Gordon says, I love it. Simonson in the house. The colors rock and the story is so cool. It's great to see Luke going into battle. Make mine Marvel.
All right, Scott Rifen posted, Simonson letting us know a new era of Star Wars comics is about to knock our socks off. Just call this cover Things to Come.
Very much so.
Nice.
Scott Hume says, This two-part story is one of my favorites from the entire classic Marvel run. Such a good follow-up to what happened in the movies, and a bit of a predictor of what would happen in Return of the Jedi, and then in The Force Awakens later on. The bad guys love their super weapons.
I was definitely thinking about that, Scott, while I was reading this issue.
Death Star, the Tarkin, and Starkiller Base.
Exactly. Matt Schott wrote, this was actually the first Star Wars comic that I ever read. I didn't even know at the time that Star Wars comics were a thing. I missed the first movie during its original theatrical run, as my folks were going through a divorce and had to change schools and living arrangements, but my friends on my mom's block all had the toys and I was desperate to see it. But that had to wait until I saw The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. And then the month this comic hit the stands, a friend in elementary school let me borrow it, and this striking cover by Walt Simonson struck my soul. Fantastic issue and story. I read it 3 times that day, still one of my favorites. And a core memory for Matt Schott. I love that.
Yeah, I do love it how the toys play into the comics and the comics play into the toys. And I'm sure because of this issue, when that Scout Walker came out a year later, a lot of kids said, oh, we didn't see much of it in The Empire Strikes Back, but we saw it in the Marvel comics.
Right.
Because this isn't the only time it shows up in the Marvel comics.
Nice. Oh, and looks like Rex Gordon is here.
Oh, Rex Gordon's in the house.
Excellent.
Good to have you, Rex.
So shall we open on the story?
Oh, please.
Okay, here we go.
Now we open on a rebel medical cruiser in deep space. A flaming X-Wing plummets in the distance as chunks of the ship fall off.
Yes, this is another dynamic splash page. Some beautiful artwork here. A lot of motion to this art. I love it. And we see the Rebel Alliance frigate, which we see at the end of The Empire Strikes Back. And it's bright white and blue and floating in space. And then that small ship, is that an X-Wing?
That's an X-Wing, yeah.
Okay. It's leaking a bright purple cloud of debris and it comes scuttling in for a landing. And you can just see all this happening on the page. Big red and yellow letters at the bottom right say, Resurrection of Evil.
Yeah, this has a connection to that last shot of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
The finale, when you see that rebel cruiser drifting into the frame.
Yeah, and this is a fun angle of it, too. It's a kind of a canted angle. We're seeing like a 3/4 view of the cruiser rather than a straight-on view.
Yeah,
that we
it
saw.
almost steals focus because you're looking at that and it's like, oh, wait a minute, there's a flaming X-Wing. What's going on with that X-Wing that's losing its pieces?
Right. Now, here we have narration. Why don't you read that, Richard?
The war drags on. Each day, Emperor Palpatine draws his blood-stained hand ever tighter around the throat of the once free galaxy. Now, note here, this is 1981. The name Palpatine was very rare.
Really?
We saw it in the Star Wars novelization.
Oh.
And after that, I don't know what in past classic Marvel Star Wars comics, they did drop Palpatine in there.
Okay.
But it was very few, very, very far between. So I'm glad Marvel kept this up with the name Palpatine.
Okay.
The pilot in the flaming X-Wing is Captain Maraba Tev, who was just on a spy mission in the Patrine system. He returns after being pursued by Imperial warships. Unfortunately, after he arrived at the temporary rebel base, he passed away.
Oh, and he arrives in that flaming X-Wing, which, according to Rex, is violating Empire emission standards.
Very much so. Look at all that emissions coming out of there.
Amazing.
There's a Fatum fast fact.
Oh, what is that?
Now, unfortunately, this is as far as Captain Maraba Tev goes.
Okay, well, it's not a name that rolls off the tongue.
Not at all. Not whatsoever.
No.
And plus, Maraba dies.
Yes.
But Ryder Wyndham used the Patrine system in the exclusive short story Vader Adrift, which appeared in Star Wars Insider Special Edition in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah, and the events in that story take place right in the aftermath of this next issue, number 52.
Oh, goodness. I never realized they did that in Star Wars Insider.
Me neither.
That's crazy.
And I love the fact that, 20 years later? 30 years later, they're continuing these stories.
Yeah, they're still referencing those stories. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Now, the cruiser reaches out to the X-Wing with magnetic grapples. And since Captain Tev is not responding back and the ship's engines are on full thrust, a rebel commander orders the gunner to destroy the X-Wing's engines.
Oh my goodness. The explosions in this comic, I have to say, are very colorful and loud. So in the panel where the magnetic grapples latch on to the X-Wing, where the X-Wing looks a little phallic, you see a giant ring in bright red block letters, almost bigger than the ship itself, right up there. It's kind of cool because it's not only depicting the sound of what's happening, but kind of the depth of feeling that's creating as well. It's almost like like the words themselves are vibrating, I say. It's really cool.
Oh, with that red and yellow lettering.
The red and yellow going ring, and they look like they're vibrating along with all the vibrations around the ship itself. So.
Now, at first, I didn't know what was going on. It's like, why are you commanding this gunner to destroy the X-Wing?
Yeah.
But no, let's just destroy the engines because this thing is coming in hot, and we got to slow it down.
Yeah, and then they blow off the wings,
and
you see this bright green zram over a pink blast of yellow and orange explosion right there. So there's like ring. It's very cute.
Now the wingless ship is pulled into the docking bay. The crew sees that the dead Captain Tev is holding a message canister. Ooh. The commander orders his crew to give Tev a hero's funeral while he checks out the message.
Now wait. It would be awesome if Captain Tev was a Bothan spy.
Oh, it would have been. At this point, we didn't know what a Bothan spy was.
We didn't get that line yet.
No, not at all.
Until 2 years later.
But if you notice, Captain Tev right there, that rebel spy, looks nothing like me.
No. No.
Not a bit. All right, we now cut to General Rieekan as he relays the news that if the information Tev brought back is accurate, then the Rebel Alliance is doomed.
Oh, no.
The general then sends out a trio of transmissions, which is what this issue should have been called, Trio of Transmissions.
Yes, it should have been.
Now, one of these transmissions was sent to Princess Leia and C-3PO, who have just landed on an uncharted planet looking for a new rebel base. So this planet right here, it looks pretty good, except for the attacking Gundarks.
Gundarks! Oh my goodness. Now, all the artists at this point had to go on was Han's offhand comment to Luke after he got out of the Bacta tank.
How you feeling, kid? Don't look so bad to me. In fact, he looks strong enough to pull ears off a Gundark. Thanks to you.
What does a Gundark's ears look like? And here we get a visual representation. We're going to zoom in here. And, Richard, I don't see any ears.
Not whatsoever.
I see, there's like eye stalks. It has eye stalks. It almost looks like a Minoc.
Yeah.
Right? Like a Minoc with the eyes on the side and like a mouth that looks like a sucker and a giant tongue that comes out of it.
Well, I thought at first these things on the side were the ears,
Me
but
too.
no, those are the eyes.
No, they have the eyes on them.
Yeah.
So the ears are probably there somewhere, but they're not like quantifiable ears like our ears.
Yeah, if you're gonna go so far as to use Gundarks, then go with the one feature that was mentioned in the movie.
Exactly.
Where they need like big Dumbo ears.
Which we gotta say, the Clone Wars. Used that.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here's Clone Wars Gundark. It actually has ears.
Big giant ears, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it can be done.
Yeah.
These two Gundarks look nothing like each other.
Yeah, so this right here is the first time they've ever mentioned Gundarks in the
comics?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first time we heard Gundarks was in The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
And the second time is here.
Okay.
But then the third time is in Attack of the Clones.
Oh.
I haven't felt you this tense since we fell into that nest of Gundarks.
You fell into that nightmare, Master, and I rescued you, remember?
Yeah, and you don't want to fall in the nest of
No.
either of these Gundarks.
Yeah, then we finally see them, like you were saying, in the Clone Wars in the very first season. And they look like behemoth four-armed red gorillas.
Yes.
Unlike the dinosaurs that Marvel drew.
Right.
So maybe there were different breeds of Gundarks. Some look like dinosaurs, some look like red four-armed gorillas.
Raised on different planets? Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go with that.
All right, but okay, so Corrin of Amber is saying that you have to be strong to pull ears off a Gundark because the ears are embedded. So you really have to work at it.
All right, so maybe we looked at it the wrong way.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe they're not big ears, but they're little tiny embedded ears that you really need a good rancor to get in there and pull them out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on here.
Okay.
C-3PO warns that once their tongues latch onto something, they will never let go.
Uh-oh.
Leia tells 3PO to run and climb on top of the large plant and start yelling. So here we see 3PO.
This bottom panel here.
He's pulling a Simone Biles and grabs onto a giant leaf and swings himself up.
It's like it's in Alice in Wonderland when she's really small and she's going around the mushrooms and she has to climb up a mushroom, but instead she does some flips and gets on top. That's what 3PO is doing here.
Yeah, but only 3PO's a droid.
I know.
His
so
articulation
it's really
is not as articulated.
Look at how cute
this
is. It's like this little whoosh. There's whooshing lines where he's swinging, and then little replicas of his feet as it's going up. Oh my god, it's so cute.
That's not the worst of it.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. 3PO then shouts, "Yoo-hoo! Gundarks over here!" Now I like the repeat of 3PO's line "over here," but we could have done without the "yoo-hoo."
I adore the yoo-hoo. I adore it.
Now I want a yoo-hoo drink.
Yoo-hoo! Can you imagine? Next time we see Anthony Daniels, we have to go, Anthony, can you redo this line reading here?
Oh my goodness. The smallest thing will set Anthony Daniels off, so let's not go there.
Okay.
Maybe we'll give him a yoo-hoo beverage. We'll give you this if you just say yoo-hoo. Leia blasts the big mushroom 3PO was sitting on, which causes the Gundark's tongues to get all twisted up. That's a good frame. That's a good panel right there. So nothing on this page makes sense other than the fact that 3PO wasn't the only one on mushrooms.
Oh, now come on. There's some cool artistic art going on here. Now, look, we're going to zoom in to this panel right in the middle where Leia... At first, I didn't understand this panel with the 007 target right in the middle of it. But what we're actually looking at is that it's Leia aiming at C-3PO's mushroom that he's standing on. And the target is showing her aim. But it's facing toward her, not toward 3PO, which is why it's confusing. Because usually you see a target and it's targeting an object.
Yeah, you see the point of view.
Yes, but this is the opposite point of view.
Here
we're looking at Leia.
3PO's point of view.
Exactly, and she's targeting 3PO. But Leia is in blue, not white, so it's a little confusing right there. Like, if she was in her white outfit, I think it would make more sense. But I think they did that for an artistic
heard that
reason.
when you're on mushrooms, you see things in blue. I'm just saying, not from experience.
Yeah. Okay, so here, I have to go on a little bit of a soapbox. Can I go on a soapbox here?
Please.
All right. So I know that Leia and 3PO, they're searching for a new rebel base location. So they're going into unfamiliar territories and trying to find a good spot. But this is yet another instance of people going into the domain of a creature and then messing with the creature and possibly harming them or hurting them. Like the Mudhorn's cave in Mandalorian. I mean, he went in there to get the egg. He didn't need the egg. I know he was trying to get it to get his stuff
the
back.
Razor Crest,
but he went into her home and stole her egg. And of course, the Mudhorn got pissed and was going to kill him. So he killed her. So I just don't like that. Or the Zillo Beast in the Clone Wars. Like, they were digging and, like, trying to doing some manufacturing, and all of a sudden they disturbed the Zillo Beast's home, and then the Zillo Beast came out guns blazing, because what do you do when someone invades your home?
Right, but here, Leia wasn't intending to hurt the Gundarks.
Yeah, I know, and they were fighting for their lives. I understand that.
They didn't know there were Gundarks here. They weren't looking to level them and then take their home. They came out attacking.
Yeah.
So Leia, all the power to her. She was blasting to disorient them so they'll get their tongues all twisted up. And I'm sure at some point they'll they'll get him back.
Get them untangled.
Yeah, but
down here in this
they need some time to get away. So
Yeah.
I understand that, because if they didn't do that, they wouldn't be in future Star Wars comics.
You know, at least she didn't try to kill them.
That's my point.
Like Mandalorian.
Yes.
Did.
Yeah.
That
That Mandalorian episode that
it disturbs me.
that didn't rub me the right way whatsoever. All right, now Leia and the 3PO blast off in their little silver shuttle. A message comes in on the emergency frequency telling them to return to the fleet at once. Now, what's wrong with 3PO's word bubble there? In the top frame?
Okay.
It's in white. All of 3PO's word bubbles are in yellow.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in yellow. Because 3PO's a droid.
And it's squared off like 3PO's past word bubbles. It's just not in yellow.
Uh-oh.
I noticed these kinds of things.
That got through the editor.
Didn't get through me.
No.
Now, half a parsec away, Luke and R2 are scoping out a volcanic moon. They detect something metal under the surface, which turns out to be a functioning communication beacon. And Luke says,
I have a very bad feeling about this.
All right, let's pause here and really showcase Rex's point here. He says, Richard's on point today. Okay, now let's get back to the program. Now, Luke's feeling turned out to be right because
Fakum!
a scout walker, remember at this point in time, it wasn't called an ATST or a chicken walker.
Oh, okay.
It blasts.
I never called it a chicken walker.
No, that was stupid.
Yes.
It doesn't look like a chicken at all.
No.
It blasts at Luke, barely missing him, and cuts him off from his ship. Then suddenly, from another direction,
Fratch!
3 immense AT-ATs lumber toward Luke. He tells R2 to activate the X-Wing's shields while he figures out a way to get back. So now let's pause 1 second here, because let's point something out.
Okay.
Now, like we were saying earlier, Marvel and Kenner have this cross-promotion relationship. Well, my question here is for Lucasfilm. Why wasn't the AT-AT on the cover of this issue? Because the Kenner AT-AT was just released.
At this point in time?
At this point in time in 1981, this AT-AT was released. So why not cross-promote this toy? Because this went for $50.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh my.
$50 in 1981.
81, okay.
Yes. Double the price of the Millennium Falcon playset.
Wow.
You would think that Kenner was ticked that they didn't do some subliminal advertising here.
Okay, question. Did you have this?
Oh, I sure did.
Oh,
I begged and pleaded.
So does it have discolored?
No. Now this picture we're looking at right now, this is not mine.
Okay.
Yeah. This is.
The legs have like different colors, like 3PO.
Yeah. After time, this plastic the color just changes, deteriorates. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I wish I could have used my AT-AT for this picture, but gotta go digging for it. All right, now the Major and the lead AT-AT tells the Scout Walker crew that Lord Vader wants a live subject for interrogation and only destroy the ship.
Okay.
Now the Scout Walker fires with no success since the X-Wing's blast shields are up. The Major then orders to protect the transmitter at all costs. He's not obeying his order.
No.
Just then, Luke rises up from the thick mud and wields an ancient weapon called a lightsaber with decidedly deadly effect.
Thanks, narration.
Now, Luke, he's all
covered
in mud. He's laying in the mud in a surprise attack. And the next couple of frames, he's like clean. He like took a shower in between those frames.
Okay. I have a note.
I've got plenty of notes. But you go first.
Oh, okay. Well, him rising up from the mud is what reminded me. It brought me back again to the Skin of Evil TNG episode, the Next Generation episode. Here we see. So here's Luke, coming up from the mud. Here is this episode where an away team goes to a planet and sees this blob of goo. They try to go around it, but the goo moves. And all of a sudden, this creature, this black blob, rises up and becomes the goo and rises up and then, kills them. Armus.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it just reminded me of Luke there. I was like, ooh, Skin of Evil. Ooh, Resurrection of Evil. But Luke's not evil in this instance. No. Okay. So, Richard, what did you have to say about this?
Okay, now we there's a panel here of what should be an AT-AT driver.
Okay.
That's not an AT-AT driver. That's a stormtrooper.
Oh, he's got the wrong helmet.
You get the wrong helmet.
Well,
yes.
an AT-AT driver doesn't have stormtrooper armor, right?
He's
is
got
it an officer.
a very modified stormtrooper helmet with different. He doesn't wear the armor because he doesn't need armor. He's sitting down.
He's sitting in an armored transport.
Yes. So nothing. So he doesn't have any part of this stormtrooper armor that we see in this panel.
Wow, you're nitpicky.
You ready for some more?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, if memory serves, now I could be wrong.
Okay.
Didn't Luke Skywalker lose his lightsaber in The Empire Strikes Back?
Oh, yes, he did.
But yet he has it here.
Built it, I guess.
No, he didn't. He didn't possess those talents just yet.
Uh-oh. So Rex is saying that the stormtrooper's covering a shift for the driver.
Oh, okay. That's
something's happening.
We'll retcon that.
And you should have been an editor. Yeah, you should have been.
Jim Shooter, move over.
Yeah.
All right, now Luke says to no one in particular.
Okay.
It's just one of those monologues or word bubbles that, like, Luke, who are you talking to? He says, I always did wonder what a walker would do with only one leg. Now I know. Because he slices the Scout Walker's leg.
Okay, James.
So that's pretty funny.
James says that Luke went to Lightsabers R Us, obviously.
He must have.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll retcon that as well.
How funny.
Now, R2 tells Luke that General Rieekan has called him back to base, and the X-Wing blasts off, evading the AT-AT's laser fire. Now, look at this panel right there. That middle panel.
That's cool.
That should have been the cover.
That should have been. That's a really awesome panel there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I don't think I even noticed that when I was reading through because, again, when I read comics, it's hard for me to reconcile the art and the narration. I just tend to read the word bubbles.
But then again, the cover art, they always want like a character to bring kids in.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, inside the AT-AT cockpit, the driver says to the Major, I don't think Lord Vader is going to like this, sir.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they let Luke got away.
Yeah, no kidding.
And the Major retorts, if you value what's left of your career, just drive.
Okay, so summing up the comic so far, we have Leia and 3PO. They were on a mission, they got a call, and now they're going back to base.
Mm-hmm.
Now here, same thing, Luke is on a mission, he gets a call, now he's on his way back to base.
He and R2 are heading back to base.
So meanwhile,
in another part of the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon, piloted by Lando Calrissian and Chewbacca, are chasing a gunrunner who can tell them where Boba Fett took Han Solo.
Whoa.
All right, now, the gunrunner, a green owl frog creature named Shemlern.
That's hard to say.
Shemlern. He leads the Falcon into an asteroid field.
Now, just as Lando plans to follow his target, he gets the transmission from General Rieekan that his search mission is to be terminated, and he's got to head back to base.
Now, I don't want to bring this down, but there is no Fatum Fast Fact for Shemlern.
How sad, because look how cool this guy is.
He's like a frog.
He's like a
frog owl.
A frog owl salamander, maybe. He looks like he has like salamander feet.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad the Clone Wars TV series didn't use him.
You know, maybe we should do is go through these comics and anyone who has not been used again, we'll make a list and give it to Lucasfilm and say, hey, if you're looking for content, for characters and situations, we did the work for you.
Yeah, here it is. Shemlern. Wow. Now, although Rieekan says that they've uncovered a threat that could cost millions of lives, Chewie has no intention of heading back. The answer to where his friend is within his grasp. Unfortunately, these last few seconds have given Shemlern time to escape.
Who?
Shemlern?
Say it again?
Shemlern. Why are you laughing at
Just
me?
a funny name.
Shemlern. Okay. The Falcon then turns around and heads back to the fleet. So this expositional part 1, I think, is over.
Oh, my
right?
goodness. Yeah. So what impactful news does Rieekan have for our heroes? We'll find out after this commercial break.
We'll return after these messages.
Now, this Marvel Hostess crossover ad is titled Spider-Man and the Demolition Derby.
Oh.
All right, so I'll play the role of Spider-Man if you don't mind.
Oh, okay, that's
and
fine.
you play the role of Demolition Derby. A bowler hat is whisked at Spider-Man, who dodges it just in time. And Spider-Man says, "Well, look who's here, the Demolition Derby." The Demolition Derby, who looks like a 1930s magician, throws his bowler hat at Spider-Man, but it ricochets off a mailbox, almost hitting a few bystanders. Spider-Man hangs upside down from his web.
You're gonna wish you'd gone home, Spider-Man.
Seriously? You know what? You should have come to rehearsals. You really should have. Who, me? I'm just hanging around.
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing you can do to stop me from stealing the famous Faith Diamond.
Oh, I think I've got you covered now. Spider-Man slings 2 webs at the Demolition Derby. Demolition Derby throws his hat and deflects the webs.
Ha ha ha. You insect, you can't spin a web strong enough to hold the Demolition Derby.
Spider-Man leaps in the air and throws down packs of delicious Hostess Twinkies. Demolition Derby catches them in his hat. Maybe not. But Hostess Twinkies cakes are delicious enough to hold you until the police get here.
Golden sponge cake, creamed filling.
The police arrive and apprehend the Demolition Derby.
My hat's off to Hostess Twinkies cakes. You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess Twinkies cakes.
And the crowd goes wild.
What did we learn?
Oh, we learned a lot of things from this crossover ad. If you're a villain coming up with a name, make sure your characteristic is what your name says it is.
Yeah.
If you call yourself the Demolition Derby, then you should be demolishing things.
Well, he's a Demolition Derby hat. So he has a derby bowler hat, right? Isn't that a hat?
Yeah.
The derby.
Okay, you
it's
know
like
what?
the name of a hat.
I didn't think about
And
that.
he's using a hat
Okay.
to demolish. So he did name himself correctly.
Yeah, but there's not a whole lot of demolishing in this issue.
No, because he's
Now-
sidetracked by Twinkies.
Yeah, but in the beginning, he went through like this drywall wall. You know what? It wasn't until now that I understand about the whole derby
Yeah.
thing.
See, Julie knows.
The derby hat.
He has a derby hat.
Why did I not see this?
Well, Demolition Derby is the name of like what cars go
Yeah,
in and
right.
like
They did
demolish
each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
but-
can see how you would think that and not that derby
yes,
is necessarily
yeah.
the name of a particular hat.
Okay, yes,
I get it.
that's you. You know what?
That was the problem.
You've crystallized my thought process.
Okay.
And to you, Spider-Man, if your webs can be deflected by a bowler hat, go back to Tony Stark and get a refund.
I agree.
Yeah, these webs are pretty strong, and if they can be cut in half by a bowler hat,
It's a Demolition Derby hat though. But yes, I get it. There are some cool panels on here though.
yeah, okay,
good
maybe the hat is making a couple of cracks in the
look
wall.
At that. Yeah, cracks in the wall.
Well,
Bam, bam,
once
bam.
again, it's drywall. You just breathe on it the wrong way, and it's gonna crack.
That's certainly true.
All right. Did you learn anything from this Marvel Hostess crossover ad other than teaching me what a derby is?
I learned that you didn't know what a derby was.
I knew what it was, but I was focusing on the wrong word.
Okay. Well, I learned that anything can be deflected with food.
There you go. You know what? Someone at Hostess is going, check.
Uh-huh. There you go.
All right, now back to the show.
Back to the show.
At the Rebel fleet and inside the medical cruiser, everyone has gathered for Riekan's briefing. He informs them that one of their best men died getting this information out of the Patrine system, and it answers a lot of questions they've been asking themselves lately. For instance, why the Empire hasn't constructed a second battle station like the Death Star. Now they know why. The Empire has been channeling resources into a weapon far, far worse.
So they have been channeling their resources into creating a something bad.
But they didn't know that until right now.
That's right, because many Bothans died to bring us. I'm sorry, just
No,
one guy
that-
died
yeah.
to bring him that information.
Yeah. No Bothans were hurt during this issue.
No. Now Luke.
Luke?
Now he's sitting very casually here, like Like he's posing for Playgirl.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Maybe me and Burt Reynolds got something in common.
And what does he ask?
He asks, worse than the Death Star? Rieekan schools him by saying that the Empire took the main offensive battery, the ionic cannon, and built a deadly ship around it.
Oh.
This ship has been christened the Tarkin.
Oh my goodness.
Now, okay, so here are the Easter eggs.
Oh yes. So we see these plans.
Yeah, you see the plans of the Tarkin. There's some artists' names right here.
Ooh.
Like Walt Simonson and Tom Palmer, and even editor Louise Jones can be seen here.
Walt Simonson up in the top right corner.
Mm-hmm.
You have Louise. You have Tom Palmer. And who was the other one? Oh, Grand Moff Tarkin. That's what it says.
Right.
Okay.
So I love that the fact that they give these the artists and the editor an Easter egg.
Yeah. All right. So we cut to the Imperial fleet. The Executor?
Not Executor, the Executor.
Okay. The Executor and several Star Destroyers head to the Patrime system.
All right, hold on. Corwin of Amber is saying, one wonders about naming the new ship after someone who failed so spectacularly. But then again, Palpatine should have stepped in and said, yeah, no. Don't name it the Krennic, and don't name it the Tarkin.
Yeah, I was going to say. Absolutely.
Name it after me.
Yeah.
Now, on board of the Executor, Major Kuru, who was in charge of the AT-ATs, he explains to Darth Vader that he chose to protect the communications beacon rather than capture the rebel, which I think is very brave of him to tell Darth Vader that he disobeyed his order.
Mm-hmm.
Vader then uncharacteristically says, "You seem distraught, Major. Perhaps a long walk and some fresh air would help clear your mind."
That's very odd.
Yes.
Why would Vader be saying this?
We know well, if Major Kuru saw Skeleton Crew, it's like he knows exactly where this is going. Don't go near those airlocks.
No, but the Major walks away under a force trance because we
Mhm.
see Vader's
Waving his hand.
waving his hand.
Yeah, and the Major walks away with very, very he's looking like he's under a trance.
Mm-hmm.
Vader is then informed that an airlock was open and closed on its own volition. Vader responds that it must have been a faulty mechanism.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we did see this in Skeleton Crew.
Yes, we did. And we saw this in Guardians of the Galaxy too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pirates walking the plank.
Yeah.
Walking the airlock.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Now, back at the Rebel fleet, Rieekan says he will need a small group of volunteers who can destroy the Tarkin from within. Volunteers who have been on the Death Star.
This is so reminiscent of Return of the Jedi, which hasn't even happened yet.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
it's very pointed. Hey, I wonder who he's talking to in this big group of people.
That's true. Yeah, they got a briefing room.
Mhm.
Now we've got to go through the
We
info.
got to go through the info
Yeah.
and use it to our advantage.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
So now Luke then volunteers, he and the others. Lando wonders where he fits in.
Oh.
Yeah. But Leia, still upset at Lando, I suppose,
Mhm.
because, he kind of turned Han in,
Mhm.
says, "Why don't you try looking out for yourself? You seem to do it so well." Now, in response, Lando utters this surprised, "Huh?" To which I kind of echo because it does kind of come out of nowhere. Where did that Leia sass come from? I guess it was just her buried feelings. But within the comic realm, there's no cause for that.
Right.
response.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? All hands on deck.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Now, Rieekan understands Lando's position when he had to turn Han over to the Empire, but some people just don't forget. And Lando's thought bubble says, "Neither do I." Like, well, good. He's showing some remorse.
Yes.
And
that's
he's showing that I'm not going to forget this either. I'm going to do whatever I can to get Han back and help serve the Rebel Alliance.
That makes sense.
Now, the Millennium Falcon jumps out of hyperspace and the Patrime system.
Yeah, and this top panel here where it's jumping out of hyperspace is beautiful.
Mhm.
Got these colors and shapes from the Falcon stream in these pastel purple, blues, and pinks. And I think that's meant to represent hyperspace and that it's just coming out of hyperspace. Yeah. It's cool.
Now, Lando is communicating with the Imperials, and he poses as someone who needs ship repairs and lands at a docking bay on the planet Hockaleg.
Hockaleg. Who came up with that one? Was that more mushrooms?
That of all my favorite Star Wars planet names, this one's at the bottom.
It's not one of them.
Hockaleg. Now, it's on this planet that crews are being taken to work on the Tarkin. If they're going to infiltrate the Tarkin, then they will need uniforms. And Luke then asks Leia to use her feminine wiles.
What the heck?
Whoa.
What is
I had a hard time
happening?
getting that one out.
Yeah,
Now-
that was like a weird turn right there.
Yeah, and now in an alleyway, two crewmen are talking. All right, here's the Danny Trejo crossover. One of the guys looks just like Danny.
Just like him. Down to the mustache.
Yeah,
It's
and this
like-
is 1981 too.
So this is like before Danny Trejo was known,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
Maybe Danny Trejo saw this artist rendition of this crew guy and said, "Hey, I want to look like that."
I bet he's got some tattoos under that uniform there. Oh my goodness.
Now, one of the two guys says, "So I said to this guy in the cantina, either get your wing out of my face or I'll." But just then, Leia interrupts and steps out of the shadows and says,
Hi there, Flyboy. New in town.
Now, the non-Danny Trejo guy whips his head around so fast, there's a blur in between the head motions.
That's really funny. Huh? He says, huh? Oh my god.
Now, the guy whose name is Brunok, he says, okay, get all the kids out of the room. What do you say we go someplace and get real tired real fast?
Wow.
What?
Based on her, hey, hi there, Flyboy. New in town?
Yeah. And keep in mind, this is still a kid's comic. Wow. How did that get past the editor?
And Leia's like, this got out of hand.
What?
And she just punches Brunok out.
I wonder how many kids took this to their parents and say, what does this mean?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Now, Danny Trejo tries to get away, but Chewbacca's big arm reaches into the panel and grabs him. Moments later, Luke and Leia are in the uniforms. They walk to the spaceport with Chewbacca and the droids.
And Leia's uniform is all baggy.
They reach the shuttle when a squad of stormtroopers stops them since they are not on the manifest. Luke then asks for them to check again and gives a force wave. Lo and behold, there they are on the manifest.
Yep.
Next stop, the Tarkin, a great Cyclopean battle station ready to spit death in a blink.
Wow. Look at this splash page. And it looks like they took that Death Star cannon and indeed did exactly what they explained, which was built the engines and things around it. It does look very blocky. It's not very sleekly designed
Not
here.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what's the front, what's the back.
Yeah, an artist did put a Star Destroyer in the top left of one of the engines, so you could see the scale.
Oh, okay.
See that Star
I
Destroyer?
didn't even see that.
Yeah, so this is very, very big. And you can also see a yellow planet below and a red sun in the far distance. And a little tiny shuttle swoops around to the top. And that must be the shuttle that's taking the workers from the planet to the Tarkin.
It does have a Star Destroyer bridge, I just noticed.
Oh.
Up top there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks like just a big hunk of metal.
Oh, whoa, says Rex. Yeah, this is it's a cool splash page. It really is.
But what's with the blue and orange engines?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay. Well, as they get closer to the Tarkin, Luke and Leia see the unsettling resemblance to the Death Star. For Leia, she's reminded of the destruction of her home world of Alderaan. For Luke, it stirs visions of the corporeal dissolution of his friend and mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh.
They didn't call him Ben Kenobi.
Oh.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Interesting.
For Chewie and the droids, the immense battle station engenders such diverse emotions as the thrill of imminent combat.
What?
Not sure that's very, very accurate.
And also, I mean, I guess they have emotions, but like,
Yeah.
that's odd. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and then Julie's asking, does Chewie have braces?
No.
Looks like you can kind of see his teeth there.
Those are his Invisaligns.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Julie, you got to put braces on your Chewie. That's cute. All right, so the last panel on the page has this narration, but all realize there's no turning back now. And that's when I want to cue the Haunted Mansion music as I turn the page. However, there's no Haunted Mansion on the next page.
Nope. It's the interior of the Tarkin.
Yes.
The shuttle lands and the crew disembark. From above, Darth Vader watches. An officer asks if he had heard his command correctly. Remove all security personnel from the area of the main power reactors? Did I hear that right? Vader feels a presence he has scoured the galaxy to find. All right, let's take a pause here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm asking you, how has the Tarkin vastly improved on the Death Star?
I mean...
Go to the next slide.
Okay. All right. How has it improved? So, oh my gosh, is that a railing?
Okay, yes. There's
railings.
railings.
Overlook.
Darth Vader is leaning on the railing.
Is on a railing, yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then on the next panel, you see a stormtrooper overlooking like a whole area. I guess
the docking
this is
bay.
The docking bay, yeah. And there's a railing right
There's
there.
a pink railing.
Pink rail. Julie is saying, OSHA.
Do you know why this happened? Because they hired Julie.
Yep.
Julie said, you know what? Let me call OSHA.
Yeah.
Let me see what we can do about this. Yeah, I talked to OSHA and they said, we got to have railings this time. Come on, guys. We've got to have some railings. It's very obvious.
That is so... I didn't even notice this when I was reading it, but I'm very glad you brought it up. Wow.
And they were like, hey, you know what? If it's only another $1,000 to the budget, okay, let's have railings. The days of accidents on this work site will go down to like 0. Trust me.
It's been 400 days without an accident. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Vader tells Captain Vol that if he does what he's told, I shall endeavor to make his last steps easier, and Luke Skywalker will be mine. What?
I think he did like what he did in Empire Strikes Back. He made it easy for Luke to get to the chamber where he wanted him to.
Yeah, but why tell this to Captain? He's a captain.
I don't know.
Why tell him this?
It's very odd, but it sounds like Vader is going to attempt to persuade Luke to join him again as father and son, against the
Well,
Emperor.
then say that.
Yeah. That's what I got out of this,
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
All right, Captain Vol then moves to an elevator and goes down to a level only populated by droids and desperate men who do not wish to be noticed. Vol enters a room with other officers.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Yeah, what is this?
The lead officer states that they've seen way too many fall to Darth Vader's sorcerous ways. Any mistake leads to an inhuman end at the Sith Lord's hands. An agreement has been made that by the end of this day, Darth Vader must die. They all say this in unison. Unlike what we just did.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, this was a very exciting and unexpected ending.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make sense. I am reminded of the Lego specials where you have those guys who just want to be middle management in the Empire because they don't want to rise.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corwin of Amber says they're going down the Witch's Road.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They're all holding hands in a circle.
Yeah, Rex says, I love the ending. How long did it take to practice that handshake? And Julie says, secret handshakes in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Enough said. All right, so afterthoughts.
Okay.
So, Sarah, what are your afterthoughts after reading this issue and going over it? Explaining to me what a derby is.
Well, I guess that was part of the issue. Yes. So this was an interesting setup. I mean, you got to see Leia, Luke, Lando, and Chewie in the midst of various missions, and they were mid-story, which is kind of what Star Wars does best, And so you think this story is very cut and dried, but at the very end, we're introduced to that little wrinkle where all the Imperial officers are tired of having their necks snapped and have banded together against Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have this opportunity. The enemy of my enemy is your friend. So we have this opportunity for Luke and Leia and them to possibly meet one of these Imperial officers and perhaps be on a team together moving forward, trying to kill Vader. You can see the possibilities are there for that. So I think this is a very good setup because even though sometimes the setup issues can be a little boring. This one I don't think was. I think it was very fun. The artwork is beautiful. The colors are fun. And I feel like I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing these rebels make friends with Imperial officers. I want to see this happen. I want to see this team up.
Okay.
What about you?
I thought it was kind of a slow-moving story.
Okay.
Rieekan getting everyone together was 80% of the story. However, there was plenty of action where Leia and 3PO escaped the Gundarks, Luke battling the Scout Walker, and Lando and Chewbacca almost catching Shemlern, who could lead them to where Han Solo is. So there was a lot in it, but the story itself, there wasn't a whole lot of story beyond General Rieekan gets information that could save millions of lives and calls back the heroes.
Right.
There was that unexpected twist in the end where the Imperial officers got together in that secret meeting and planned on killing Darth Vader. I remember looking at that panel back in 1981 going, whoa, Imperials opposing and planning on killing Darth Vader? That really made a big impact on me. So I'm eager to see where this story cycle leads.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Corwin Amber is bringing up a good point. As a plot point, Vader must die is not good. We already know he doesn't die. They needed something that we don't already know the outcome of.
Well, I think the whole mystery there is, how can these Imperials plan to kill Darth Vader? We know he doesn't die, but what's going to happen to these guys? How are they going to proceed with this plan?
Yeah.
And at what point will Darth Vader just wipe them all out? So I think it was that story I was more interested in.
Oh, okay. So your head already went to the possibility that he's definitely not going to die.
Yes.
But what's going to happen?
But what will happen to all those other guys?
Okay.
Because an Imperial turning on another Imperial, that was something that we'd never seen before.
Right.
So that was brand new that these classic Marvel Star Wars comics brought to us.
Yeah.
All right,
Very
now
cool.
let's go to our favorite panels.
Yes. So, Richard, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite panel of this classic Marvel Star Wars comic?
All right, it's got to be the non-Danny Trejo guy. When he whips his head around so fast, there's a blur in his motion.
That really got to you, huh?
Yes, it did. It was like, whoa, Leia, is that beautiful that his head just goes that fast? That I believe. That's my favorite panel. And plus, we do see Danny Trejo in there as well.
I think you like the comic nature of it, like the comics, like the funniness of it. It is funny.
And Danny Trejo looking at us like, I know where this is going to go, so I ain't looking over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, my favorite panel comes on the last page of the issue, the Darth Vader Must Die panel, because it is so like different and like, oh my gosh. And when do you see Imperial officers clasping hands with each other? They're holding them high and they're in this lavender and pink room. And it just looks cool. It's something you don't often see. So I like it. And I like what it represents here, is where the story can go, the surprise of it. It was very neat.
All right, but now all I see is down, down, down we go, down the witch's road.
Yep.
All right, what is your favorite line of dialogue or narration? Or should I go first? We're going to go to page 13, where Vader says, "You seem distraught, Major. Perhaps a long walk and some fresh air would help clear your mind."
You just think that's funny.
That is so funny. It's the okay, go take a long walk of a short pier phrase.
Yeah, it seems so unassuming.
Yeah, and it's so non-Darth Vader too, which is funny.
Yeah.
He would just, like Captain Nita or Admiral Ozzel, he would just kill you and not have to do all these theatrics behind it.
That's funny. Okay, well, I am going to go with a narration point, which I've done, I think, for the last 2 issues. It's on the big splash page where the Tarkin is, and I love the narration here. It says, "The Tarkin looms like some great cyclopean sentinel, its ionic eye ready to spit death in a blink." Ugh, it's so poetic. And I like the use of cyclopean because it's like this one cyclops eye. It's cool.
It's very, very cool.
Okay, Richard, what's the most un-Star Wars moment?
There's a A lot of them.
Okay.
But I'm going to go to page 15 when Luke is asking Leia to use her feminine wiles to get them the crewmen's uniforms.
Yeah.
Luke would never, ever say that.
And also, so I'm going to glom onto this. This is my most non-Star Wars moment as well. And this is like the exact opposite of what Leia stands for.
She doesn't go, she
takes matters into her own hands.
Yeah, she doesn't use her feminine wiles or her beauty to get ahead.
Right.
Because she knows that she has other powers, such as her intelligence and her leadership qualities.
Absolutely. Yeah, so she could persuade them a much, much different way, and I think it would work out just fine.
Yeah, but this is Marvel in the 80s.
Yes.
All right, I got one more here.
Uh-oh,
and this one, I think this one tops them all. Page 16.
Okay.
When that crewman guy, Brunok, says to Leia, "What do you say we go someplace and get real tired real fast?"
Wow.
No. I think if George Lucas ever saw that, he would tell Marvel, "You no longer have the license."
I think so too. That's wow.
That is not good whatsoever.
Why does that have to come into it? I don't know. So I don't want to leave this issue with that. So I'm going to bring up one more favorite panel.
Oh, okay.
You ready? Okay, I'm going to bring up on page 15 the art where the Falcon is coming out of hyperspace into normal space. And I just want to say that we just spent some time in Palm Springs, Richard, which is a town that's stuck in the 60s. And this looks like it could be in one of the art galleries there.
Mm-hmm.
This piece of art with the hyperspace in these pink and blue bubbles. And then the Falcon coming out of hyperspace into a black sky with blue stars. It just, like, get rid of the narration on either side, and it's like this really cool piece of artwork.
Yeah, that 60s artwork did have a lot of squares and circles interconnecting with each other. Yeah,
a lot.
This is very, very 60s.
It could be in that art museum there in Palm Springs.
All right, Skywalkers, what did you think of this issue? If you were reading this in 1981, what would you think of that last tag, Darth Vader must die?
We want to know. Please leave your comments in our social media posts.
One thing we should mention is that the Hostess Marvel crossover ad was going to be centered around the Human Torch.
We didn't think that was appropriate this week.
So we went to another one.
Yes.
So if you go to that issue and say, hey, wait a minute, there's not a Spider-Man, the Demolition Derby crossover ad. It's the Human Torch. You'll now know why.
Yes. Well, that wraps up episode 499 of
Skywalking Through Neverland. 499. Next episode, 500.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
What are we gonna do? Stay tuned and find out. Now, we want to thank all you Skywalkers who listen every week, who boost our social media subscribers and followers every single week. We ask you to help us with subscribers, and you do. I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to thank everyone for watching this live stream. Now, sometimes we'll go on the last minute.
Yeah.
And you guys all show up.
Oh, yeah, we love it.
Thank you.
We love it. And you can find us all on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod. Now, we also have our live stream every week, Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific, called
Things We Want to Share.
And that's where we share things we've done the past week. We update you on our schedule. And we also invite you, Skywalkers, to come on and share something you've done or something you've just added to your collection. I think last things we want to share last Monday, we had 3 people come on and share different things. So that was really fun. It's great to see you guys, and you guys have the opportunity to come on live with us.
Now, are you interested in our books? Autographed copies of Today in Star Wars History, Volume 1 and 2, and Skywalking Through My Fandom are available now at skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book.
Would you like to support Skywalking Through Neverland? Do you listen every week or watch every week? Well, you can support us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. And as a member of the Skywalking Force, you have access to bonus content in the form of our discussions on the past Disney Plus shows. We have recorded the Skeleton Crew discussions, and I'll be putting those up very soon so you can listen to those. And you also get a coupon code to use for our books. So this bonus content begins at only $5 a month, so you can head to skywalkingforce.com, have a look at the options available, and we want to thank you so much to those of you who are part of the Skywalking Force already.
Now, we want to thank our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park, a Universal Studios park, or a Disney cruise? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge. So head over there and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you, or just say FORP.
We are part of the Skywalking Network. Where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
The Max Effects Podcast,
The Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History. Oh, Julie's on it.
Skynet. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
yoo-hoo! I was waiting for that one. I had it chambered.
Now I want another yoo-hoo.
And always remember,
Neverland on Alderaan. And if you do not ask them for a yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo!
All right, I'm out.
There we go. That'll be cut out. Okay.
Or will it?
It will.
It'll be in the blooper reel.
And sets events in motion to capture his long sought-after adversary, Luke Skywalker. Adversary. I always say that wrong.
All right, you know what?
And I have to say, they must have sunk some budget into all these fun effects words. You get this shoosh as the Scoutwalker falls down into the mud. You get a patoom and a whump of the Scoutwalker and this big groak. Is that supposed to be Chewie as he pushes the Falcon past its limits?
Yeah.
Or is that the Falcon making a groak?
More of a Wookiee sound. Groak.
That's what I would think. Okay. I was just wondering about that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very cute. I don't remember quite so many effects words. Do you?
Oh, yeah. They've always had
patoom.
These effects words.
Okay.
Just to show you how loud an explosion is.
I think maybe they're in colors that really stand out now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm noticing them.
Yeah, red.
Mm-hmm. And the narrator?
Yeah. You want to do
Actually, you have it labeled for you to be the narrator and Spider-Man.
Well, you always be the narrator. This is my turn.
You're always Spider-Man.
Do you want to be Spider-Man?
No, it's okay.
It's not Spider-Gwen, but you know what? It's 2024.
It's 2025.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Now you're bringing out the worst of us in front of all the Skywalkers. Hope you're happy with this. 2025 sucks.
Uh-oh. Pecan Joe doesn't know what he's walking into. Hello. Wow.
All right. Well, with that.
I know, right? All right, Skywalkers.
All
well,
right.
we're going to...
Keep your chin up.
Yeah. We're going to get out this episode so that everyone has something cheery to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And we love you all.
Hope it brought a smile to your face.
Yes, that is our goal.
Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.